guys, I am making a ring binder journal, and it's going to be a 6x6 journal. So I thought I would just video it, just some other pages that I'm making, so you can see my process and how I do it. So what I have done so far, I've cut out some cards. Some of them are tea stain paper and some of it's card. So I've got some card in two different colours here, which have been tea and coffee stained. I buy, like I said before in my other videos, I buy great big A1 sheets and a coffee diet or tea diet, and then I cut it up. And then I've got some of those, and then I've got some tea coffee stain papers in here as well. The journal will probably be about 25 to 30 pages, so it'll be 50 to 60 front and back, which is quite a nice size. And on some of them I've actually popped some napkins. So this is a beautiful napkin. I've actually used the Mod Podge to put these down, so it makes it a little bit harder. So on these pages I'll probably gesso them as well and ink them, and also on these pages. So I've done this one, I've done that lovely rose one, and then just a rose in the corner. So I'm just doing bits and pieces. And the leftover bits of napkin that I had, I've actually just stuck them onto little bits of leftover card from cutting these out. And what I'm going to do, I will be cutting these out to make some tags and some pockets. So I've done 2 of those as well. And these are some of the napkins, because it's sort of like a peachy creamy colour journal that I'm going to be doing. So I've got some nice rose napkins here. So that one, I think that's the one I put on the front of the journal, the other rose journal that I did. I do have a video on it, so I'll pop the link below. So I'll be using that. So, and then I've got a nice little stash of ribbons and lace and bits on here. Look, some lovely velvet there, and some seam binding that I've coloured with coffee and tea on there. So that's the colour scheme that I wanted to use. So I try and get everything all together, and then start off. And then what I thought I'd do, I'd just decorate some of the pages. So I thought I'd just do some of these little tucks on here, and I got the idea just from an envelope. So what this would do, this would go onto a page, the back would actually just stick onto the page like that, and then it will just, you can put a little letter in there or journaling card, so that just sits in there nicely. And I've just decorated with some seam binding, a little bit of a resin rose on there, and then I've popped some napkin on here. So I thought that looked really pretty. And on this one, I've just stamped on the back. I'll probably embellish this a little bit more with some ribbon and lace, but I've just got a little heart underneath and a little fussy cut flower there with a bit of cheesecloth underneath. And I just pop these bits on just to hold these together. So I'm going to show you how I did these. I've put these to the side and that to the side. So these envelopes that I use, I've got this one, but I wanted to make a smaller one here, look. So these size of these envelopes are, this is 4.5 by 2 3/4. So this is the smaller one. And the ones that I've used here is 3.5 by 5.5. Alright, so I don't want to put too many in the journal, but I've got 2 larger ones, and I just wanted to make a smaller one as well. So what I've done, I've taken the envelope apart, so opened it up, and then we don't need those bits, we just need these bits here. Okay, so you can either cut those off, or you can stick them. If you're going to use the envelope, you can just stick them to the back, because it's going to be stuck on the page anyway. But what I did, I actually cut it out of a piece of tea stain paper. So I just popped that onto the paper like this. Okay, and then I drew around it, and then I cut it out. So, and then that's what you end up with. So this is what you end up with, and you just fold the 2 down like that. So there we go. So then what we need to do is just give it a little bit of inking around the edges and find something to decorate it with. So we can ink these little bits because that's going to be the inside. So you can ink and stamp it, or you can actually decorate it with a bit of napkin. So whatever you fancy doing. So I'm just going to ink these bits, so they go down like that. You can sew through it and all sorts, so and they're quite quick to make, and I think they look really, really nice. So that goes like that, and then what I did, I've got my little hearts. This was my heart die, but you can use any shape, doesn't matter. You can use circles or anything, rectangles or squares, and that just sits on there like that. So you just glue that down. This is the smaller heart, this is the larger heart, but that looks a bit too big to go on there, I think. So that goes on here like that. Okay, so like I said on this one, I just attached what I did on here. I'll show you. You could probably do it with a little bit of ribbon actually. I just got a length of ribbon and I just glued it down like that and then embellished over the top. So you can do that as well. So all your little tiny little bit of scraps you can use up. I've got a scrap box actually, which I might get out and embellish some bits and pieces on that. So this is really pretty. So you could just use bits of this to embellish it. Actually, I might use some of this. Let's cut a little bit of this out. Use my nice little scissors. There we are. So these bits, these are just old bits of clothes that I found in a charity shop, which are all nice and lacy, which are lovely. So that just sticks on there like so. Let's have a look. And just add little bits. So you could actually make like a little snippet. Maybe that's what I will do. Put that to the side. Just make like a little snippet bit so we can use it. That's quite a good idea actually. If you made a long snippet piece, you could just sort of like cut it up and use it as embellishments, and it would all sort of like blend in with your journal. That's quite pretty, isn't it? And then we've got a bit of white. This is lovely fabric. This is off an old shirt that I got from the charity shop as well. It's got some beautiful little flowers on. It's got lots of little bits that you can cut out. I think people think I'm mad because I do go into the charity shops and then I go and have a look. All I'm doing is looking at all the fabric in the clothes. Doesn't matter whether it's little baby clothes or adult clothes or men's clothes, I just look at them for the fabric. I bought an absolutely beautiful little girl's dress, and it's very shabby chic, and it had beautiful tulle underneath, so it was absolutely gorgeous. So I bought that and it was only like €1. It's fantastic. So we can just start adding little bits over the top and just layer it up like that. Look, and that just sits on top. So what we could do really, we need like a little bead or something. That's quite nice, isn't it? These are just, I made some of these, which are just the like little glass pebbles, and then I just backed them with some paper. So that's like a little rose. So they're quite handy to use. So what I'm going to do on here is I need a piece of paper just for the backing, so that's a bit too soft. So let's just cut out a little circle to stick it all onto, and then that just sticks on there like that. let's layer it up as my glue. So pop a bit of glue on here. I can stick that down. So this again is a great way of using up all your little bits of fabric. And not sure whether I use that one. I think I'm just going to pop this one on. Like this. And then, oops, easy. And this just goes on there like that. Perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue either side. And make sure you don't glue the whole thing down. Pop that on there. Lift that up, there we go. So that's nice. And what we can do as well is just get some fabric or a little bit of this lace to pop over the top of here, top and bottom. So I probably should have done that before I actually glued it down, really, but that will be okay. There's some of this glue on the end. We just glue it a little strip along here. Stick that down. There we go. Again on the bottom. Put that on here. There we go. Probably have to glue this little bit down because it's a bit sticking up, poking up. And there we are. And I'll do that one as well. I need to find something to pop in the middle of that one. Maybe I'll use one of the little flowers on there. I think that looks really nice, and they look really nice on the pages. Like that, just obviously not on this page, it would have to be a blank one like that, and then you just slot it in. You could actually as well just glue down the edges, so that means that you'd have two pockets. You'd have a slot in there, and then you'd also have a pocket behind if you just glue down the three edges. Or you could just glue down, doesn't matter which edges, and then just have a top pocket. That's quite a good idea, isn't it? So that's quite nice, isn't it? So let's find a little flower to go in the middle. So here we go. Pretty little resin roses on here. Back there. Oops. A little bit of glue on there. Just a little bit candid, and that just sits on there like that. Okay, so that's really pretty. So then we have three, so I've got two larger ones and then a smaller one, and then this is all the bits that I'm going to be embellishing. So I'm going to make lots of little embellishments. So what I'll do is I will video them as I make them, so you can sort of like see what I'm doing. So that's a very quick, easy one, and it's quite a nice little one to slot in. So again, you can stick it down So I like this with a little bow on there. That looks really pretty. Fab. Okay guys, well that's a quick little tutorial for you as I go along. So they're the bits that I'm making, and these are all the napkins. So I'm going to try to stick to all these colours. So if you get all your bits and pieces out, you know what sort of colour scheme you've got. You can just have them all to hand, and then each page will sort of like blend in with the other one, so it all flows nicely. Alright guys, well that was just a quick one, and hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Thank you, bye bye.